Welcome to episode 2 of season 3 here in the realistic road to glory. We are embroiled in the thick of the transfer window in our first season at championship level. We picked up a point on opening day, although we did lose a man on opening day. Suspended on debut, or after his debut, Stephen Kingsley at centre-back. It's okay, we can deal with it, it's not too much of a problem, but wasn't ideal. But the point was very, very good indeed. Thank you for your feedback with regards the youth players, Liam Lee and Adam Clarkson. We will, after extensive feedback, we will look to loan Liam Lee and loan Adam Clarkson. I've added them to the loan list. I cannot seem to get rid of that submitted a transfer request. So I've added them to the loan list. I removed from the club, advanced today, added them back to the club, but it still hasn't gotten rid of the submitted a transfer request. So table flip. So we'll look to loan Clarkson. And you guys feel that he long-term is the Brophy replacement, because of course Ken Semmer's only here for a one-year contract as well. So Brophy will let go at the end of the season with a view of Adam Clarkson taking that first team spot. Similarly, George Thomas will let go at the end of the season with a view of Liam Lee taking that first team spot. We'll loan them out. By them having a successful loan spell, that should get rid of their want to leave. So we keep our fingers crossed in that regard. We've called up Sam Forrest to loan him out, because he's now turned 17. We've also called up Barry Anderson because he's turned 17 as well. Now, Barry has more of a part to play, and here's why. We're training him as a left-back. We currently have George Nurse at left-back. We were thinking about signing Jack McKenzie on a free, but don't currently have the finances available really to be able to do so. Barry Anderson's come up, and we are training him as a left-back to have as a backup. However, I was previously thinking of loaning a left-back. We don't really have the wage budget to do so. However, if I go to my inbox, we've had a transfer bid for George Nurse from Hull City. He would be Hull City's highest rated left-back. We've discussed with live chat. Together we think that he would want to leave to go to Hull City. We will look to maximise the potential value from this deal. They've already bid 20% above market value, more than 20% above market value. Close to 25%, if not more than 25% market value. So I will try and get upwards of 1 point... Oh, never mind, I just accepted. Good! Well done, Ches. All right, we'll take 1.5. I got caught in my commentary piece. It was my ambition to try and get about 1.7. 1.5 is fine. It's not a problem. We have the finances in hand to be able to deal with that with the transfer budget. We've got loads of money remaining in the transfer budget. It's fine. It was mainly the wages we wanted to get rid of because of the call-up for Sam Forrest and the call-up of Barry Anderson. We now significantly over wage budget. We will negotiate loan deals, though, now, rather than just delegating them and having be 100% wages paid by me. We will look to negotiate the loan deal so that 100% of the wages isn't paid by me and I pay less to help manage the wage budget now that that's a financial concern. We're not in a position, because of the way the spreadsheet is set up, to transfer some transfer budget into wage budget to make that easier. But I like the idea that the board are wanting to keep a tight rein on the wage budget so that we don't let costs spiral out of control, regardless of what does come in or out of the transfer budget. So I'm happy with that storyline, so to speak, and it makes the spreadsheet work the way that it's intended to work. So that's what we will do moving forward. George Nurse looks like he's likely to leave then to go to Hull City. Now, actually, seeing the tactics there say wing play on the team strategy brings up our first question from the comments section for the press conference. It's from Connor, and it says, as you enter a new league, will you adopt a new play style, one which is less expansive potentially? Moving to a 5-back or a more direct style of play could be a pragmatic move for most managers moving to a higher division. I agree. It's something that we mentioned last season that we were going to look into doing, and it is something I'm going to look to do now. So we're going to move away from wing play. I'm not going to change the formation for reasons that we've covered before in previous press conference questions, but we will move from wing play to something, in theory, slightly more defensively solid if we can. That's the plan. Operation Stay in the Bloody Division is the first port of call this year. So we're going to advance towards the next game, which is going to be A side we've previously played in this save, back in League One in Season 1, Derby County, they got themselves promoted and stayed up. And I believe they were the only one of the 3 sides promoted in Season 1 to stay up in the division. We'll sim the cup game against Mansfield. We'll also play West Brom and play Nottingham Forest today with a view of finishing the transfer window, playing both Huddersfield and Stoke City in the episode tomorrow, when there's probably still going to be yet more transfer business to be done by the club with both ins and outs. So I'm going to go and adjust my tactics. We're going to see what happens with that George Nurse deal, and then we'll go and play Derby away from home at Pride Park. Hopefully get another positive result. Do drop the video a like if you're enjoying, though. I'd very much appreciate the continued support. You guys have been great with this save so far. Thank you for that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more of the content, of course, coming to you every weekday. And fingers crossed, we can get some more points on the board today. Confirmation, as we've advanced for the first time, that George Nurse is gone. From first team left back at Cambridge United to first team left back at Hull City, it is a step up in his career. We thank him for his service. He was a bit of an unsung hero last year, but you can understand that he doesn't really want to be involved in a relegation fight with Cambridge this year. Hull have had a takeover in real life as well, so you imagine that will have been a lucrative financial move for him as well. George Nurse is out of the Abbey and in at the KC. He's gone. Now, we were looking to move on Zach Jules at centre-back as well. This was a planned transfer. Huddersfield, fellow Championship Huddersfield, just promoted with us Huddersfield, have come in for him. Great that we've got a realistic bid for Zach Jules. That was my fear, that nobody realistic was going to come in after the bid came in from Brescia. But Huddersfield certainly are a side that we could negotiate a slightly higher fee with. Actually managed to negotiate this time around. So I'll try and get about 750 for him if they're willing to go that high. If they're not, that's fine. They are, that's great. Zach Jules is on his way out. That will free up more money in the wage budget as well. More money that will allow us more comfortably to bring in a certain Jack McKenzie to take that starting left-back spot. And Luton have come in to loan Adam Clarkson. We will negotiate this. We don't want a loan to buy. Just a loan, please. But this is the ideal situation. Promotes a loan without buy. They'd want him for a year. Suits me down to the ground. They'll hopefully pay 50% of his wages. I don't really want to negotiate too much more. 50-50 is done. Great. Okay, Adam Clarkson looks like he's on his way to Luton for a season. He should grow quite well there. And then we'll come back and start on the left-hand side for us once Sema and Brophy's contracts expire at the end of this season. Everything's going to plan so far. Jack McKenzie has signed a contract at the club for £4,800, utilising the previous wages of George Nurse in bringing in a replacement that is, on paper, a better player. Similarly aged, similarly talented, similarly versatile, able to play at left-back and at centre-back, as was the case with George Nurse. In fact, he's probably better as a centre-back than George Nurse previously was. We have another incoming for the Cambridge United squad in our debut championship season. And Zach Jules is on his way out to another championship side. We may end up finding ourselves playing against Zach Jules later this season. He has peaked at 65 rated though, so it's definitely the right idea to move him on. £750,000 into the bank, 75% of which will go into the transfer budget moving forward. And we very much could do with saving the money, because I am £4,500 over wage budget. But as I remove that, we're now only £2,000 over wage budget. And with further loanees to leave us, hopefully, financially, we'll be in a decent spot. We might still be over wage budget, but by nowhere near as much as we were. And because we're allowing ourselves that financial stretch of 15% more that we can go to, which could backfire if we don't stay up, of course, meaning that my wage budget is significantly over budget. At present, we're all right financially, but we don't want to take too many risks. As we head away from home then against what looks to be a very average Derby County side, 64 rated across all areas. I'd go as far as to say they're probably weaker than when they got promoted. Maybe they've lost a couple of key players. A couple of regens in there in Rafferty and Kuipers. surprising to see Derby in such a position. Now, we're going away for this fixture, and according to the press conference question, in our first home game of the season, our home fans got into fights with the Millwall fans. We don't condone such behaviour. Anyone that is found to have been embroiled in any hooliganism will, of course, receive a ground ban and not be allowed back into the stadium ever, as far as I'm concerned, for a Cambridge United home game. Is there a youth player in there that's just massively lowering the average rating? Rafferty's only 56. The rest of the defence is 65, 66 and 68. And Darren Robinson's 60, which is averaging out Tyrese Fornar's 69. And then Anton Cade is 69. So Kang Yungu's 60 is bringing down the average there. So actually they're potentially better than they initially appear, Derby County. But still, we're in a much better, more competitive position on paper with Derby County than we were the season that they finished second in the league, I think, behind Portsmouth and got themselves automatic promotion. Mackenzie's making his debut today. Kingsley is not in the squad, of course, through suspension. So Zeno is back in the starting lineup. But Connor Washington just scores goals. Like that. 1-0 Derby. Great ball to Ward. In a good position here. Mackenzie drifts central. I'm quite happy with that, actually, because he's got the physicality to do the job centrally if one of the centre-backs gets drawn out of position to a full-back area. He's 6'3", Jack Mackenzie. This is Kirk Henderson now dealing with things in the left-back spot. Cade gets the ball under control, and Derby look to score a second. Robinson fires it narrowly wide. Derby County mean business today. They want their first points of the season here at home after losing on the opening day. Henderson looking for Cleary. Cleary was not very good last time we used him, but he's gone out on loan and grown spectacularly with some excellent experience. Oh, and that was headed his way. Was 63 rated last time we used him. He's 68 rated now, Reyes Cleary. He certainly should be a player that can do a job at the bottom end of the championship, we hope. Berry will find this to the edge of the box. It's Kelland Watts to Ken Sema. Sema from range, deflected, and Vickers makes the save. We'll have another corner. All right, so far, substitutes might be making the difference. Looking for Cleary again here. He's won the header, but it's gone well over the top. Look at that gap to Thomas. Man is closing in. George Thomas beats his man. Could George Thomas be in here to score his first goal at championship level? He was in. He didn't score his first goal at championship level, or even come close to it. Sema to Berry, trying to force it perhaps a little bit to get it to Thomas, but Brown will look for Cleary here. Reyes Cleary in the box. He's got support if he can find the pass. Thomas, shot blocked. Brown instead, perhaps. Cleary was offside. Another opportunity to find an equalising goal, but it does seem that we're destined to lose this second game at championship level. It's cannons off him, and they'll recycle possession and go again here. Or maybe they're just trying to waste time. I've just noticed we're into stoppage time now, but Reyes Cleary wins that back. Mistake by the Derby defensive line. Cleary's not got the pace or strength to get on the end of his heavy touch. And the opportunity to get a last gasp equaliser evades us. Perhaps took that touch slightly close, or slightly too close to the defender. And unfortunately, we're going to end with a 1 or maybe 2-0 defeat scoreline here. It'll be 2. Manu off the bench to seal it. Perhaps we underestimated them when we saw their initial starting lineup, but we won't be underestimating Derby a second time around, that's for sure. 2-0 to the Rams is how it will end. It was the last kick of the game. Unfortunately, defeat for us here. We're expecting a difficult season. I don't feel like the part of the bus really worked for us there, so I might be a little bit more experimental as we progress through the opening few games of the year. We'll have the third and final press conference question here this early on in the episode from the True Blitz. It says, with the club taking financial risks involving the wage budget, are you or the club not worried about breaching FFP regulations? No. Whilst the wage budget might be slightly stretched, the overall bank balance is absolutely fine, and that's the key figure for financial fair play. We're not going to make any losses. We're not going to make too many gains. We'll be absolutely fine financially, but it's something we are aware of. We want to make sure that we don't risk the club either way. Bristol City have bid £2.65 million for Reyes Cleary. Also had a bid for Alex Grieve from Minnesota United as well. Alex Grieve is seemingly very, very interested in the MLS, or at least it really seems to only be MLS sides that are coming in for him. So I think I'm in a position where if we want him to go, I'm just going to have to accept a bid from the MLS. Minnesota United have come in for him here. They've offered joint most amount of money for him. He's valued at $675. We will try and maximise the deal. Cambridge have signed a new striker in real life, intriguingly. Shane Lavery from Blackpool has joined Cambridge United IRL. Now, Bristol City strikers, who are they? Do they put themselves in a position where he wouldn't get first team football? 64 rated Naki Wells, 68 rated Harry Cornick, 73 rated Sebastian Ferreira. I think I'm happy enough in rejecting the bid for Reyes Cleary. We sent him out on loan last year to develop. He wouldn't be first team there, the same way he's not first team here. In fact, he's closer to the first team here than he would be at Bristol City. So I am happy to turn that bid down and not sell Reyes Cleary to Bristol City based on the strength of their squad. We'll advance further towards the Mansfield game. And leaving us now is Adam Clarkson, I think, that is going out on his loan bid to Luton Town. For 12 months, we'll pay 50% of his wages, and that will save us some money on the wage bill as well. Another good move for the club. Carabao Cup match day time. It's Mansfield Town, who in real life have just gotten promoted to League One. Keeler Dunn was a name that was mentioned in the comment section to potentially come to the club in this save. Williams at right back for them. George Williams used to play for Cambridge, now finds himself here at Mansfield. We're rotating the 11 for the cup, but that's still a very strong side, and the side is strong enough to lose on penalties, is what the side is strong enough to do. Well, we're at the Carabao Cup then. Kellen Watts, they scored in the 87th. We equalised in the 89th. They thought they'd won it. They hadn't. We equalised 3 minutes after they scored the first goal as well. Oh well, not to be in the Carabao Cup, but ultimately our sole focus is staying in the league this year, so I don't mind that. Alex Grieve is stateside bound. The power of the mullet leaves the club. To Minnesota United he goes. Quite chilly in the north of the United States in Minnesota, but I'm sure he'll deal with it. They get much snow in New Zealand? I'm sure they get quite a bit of snow in New Zealand. £900,000 is the fee, and that will save us $3,000 in the wage budget as well. So we'll go player sold here, £900,000. And with regards to our finances, we're now only... Actually, no, I need to take him out of here. We're actually now above our wage budget again. Or under, should I say, probably the better way to phrase it, our wage budget again. With £1,300 available in the wage budget and loads of money in the transfer budget. So should we decide to alter around the squad in a couple of other ways, I'm sure we'll be absolutely fine financially moving forward. Had another bid for Sam Forrest to go out on loan. I'm going to, because he's lower rated, we're going to try and negotiate these to just loan bids. With the lower rated youngsters probably not able to get a proper loan bid, a realistic loan bid, then we will look to just loan them to anyone. Outside of that, obviously other players will look to get realistic bids for. They pay 50%, they will. Looks like Sam Forrest is going to go out on loan to ACS Sepsi OSK Din SF Georges. Then, Luton are now also interested in Liam Lee. I rejected the Hamburg one for it not being that realistic and was hoping for a more realistic one. Liam Lee looks like he might join Adam Clarkson on loan at Luton Town. Would be huge if they are open to doing so, and they are indeed open to having him at the club. 50% wage split would be lovely, £236 a piece, and Liam Lee might also be on his way to Kenilworth Road. So match day 3 in the Championship. West Brom have 4 points from their opening 2 games. They lost in the Cup, as did we do, but 76 rated attack with Josh Madger up top. Carlin Grant, Alex Mowat, Yakuslu in their midfield as well. I think we might be losing this one, though. So we've got Nottingham Forest to come after this as well. We have switched to a different tactical style now. We're playing kick and rush to see how that goes here. We're back at home for this one, so fingers crossed we can put on a display. I don't think I need to make any changes to the starting lineup at this stage. Kellen Watts is slightly fatigued, but he's able to play, so that's not a problem whatsoever. Now then, what can we do, or probably more accurately not do, against West Bromwich Albion? If the tactical style change doesn't suit us over the first 2 or 3 episodes of the season, then we may well revert to type and go back to what worked to get us to this point. Referee sees that as not a foul. I don't think I got anything of the ball there. We definitely got all of the ball there, though. But yeah, if it doesn't work, then we will go back to the wing play, try and recover potential lost form. At the minute, form is okay. A draw and a defeat isn't the worst start to the Championship season. We are expecting to be one of the bottom 7 or 8. We just don't want to be any of the bottom 3. Rafferty forward to Brown. And with Rafferty on the overlap. And an overlapping Rafferty will look for ChesnoidGaming. Find potentially James Brophy. Knocked down well there. Thomas will get it back essentially. Berry. Not really much room there, but great run by Brown. Cut this back to Thomas. Looking inside. We get lucky, we get unlucky with the way the ball rebounds back and out. It will be a throw for us only. And no chance to score a goal. Josh Madger holding the ball up nicely. Yakuslu finding Alex Mauer. Finding Madger again. He's trying something fancy. It's not going to work, but they get so lucky with the rebound. Carlin Grant buries it. And he had an open goal to aim at. It's a decent initial save from Jack Stevens. But it's bounced away. And pinpoint accurately flies straight to the waiting West Brom man. That's not ideal. Down the line to Swift. Taking on himself. Not being very swift in the way that he dishes up possession. It is a corner though. Jack McKenzie got something on it. Wallace will deliver. Brophy can only nod it back from whence it came. Wallace will try again. Finds Josh Madger second time around. Grant. Easiest goal he'll score this season. Tapped in already. That hit a hand. They might have the chance to bury another. Very, very close to try and get that up and down. And Stevens gets it over the bar. I wasn't sure what to do with the wall there, whether they might actually have gone short. They are going to go short with the corner. Swift to the edge of the box. Here's Grant again. Might wind up for a shot. Little fancy flick. Ajayi. Henderson's in. Counter. Can we? Is there room and space? Maybe. Brown arriving. Brown churning in those legs. Getting away here. Cut it back. Berry. Yengi. Shot blocked by a defender. Henderson intercepts though. Through there was Luke Berry again, but not able to be found. We will trail at half-time once more. Kushlu and Swift. Out to Wallace. Cut back nicely to Swift. And into Wallace again. Could go for goal. He's gone for the ball short. And West Bromwich Albion take a 2-0 lead in the 61st minute. So far, it appears that this step to the Championship is as difficult as we expected, and as you guys probably hoped for the nature of the realistic Road to Glory style save we're trying to do. I think we might be in a relegation fight, lads. Madger. Got movement on the right-hand side for him. It's backwards to Yakuslu through the middle now. Swift, Grant, excellent first touch. He's in behind. Carlin Grant finds his shot saved by Jack Stevens. Had no chance with the first goal. Arguably no chance with the second either. I don't know who it was that got in the way of that, keeper or defender, but either way it stayed out. 3-0 would be unfair, I feel. West Brom haven't been that good today. But certainly they have been the better side and deserve the win. And forward to Sema. Leading runners. There is one. ChesnoidGaming's on his bike. He's in behind. ChesnoidGaming might be able to score our first goal or set up our first goal of this Championship season. It just won't go in for Cambridge United right now. I could not get the shot away properly with anyone there. Henderson will take the throw. Brown is there. Immediately tackled by Furlong. Brown is normally better in possession than that. Looking for the run of Ken Sema. Found well. Sema spins. And Brown is in the box. Brown needs to show some good footwork here. Balagizi in support. Balagizi came close a moment ago. And we just can't find the goal. Oh, but maybe from this free kick. We did have a free kick specialist in centre-back Stephen Kingsley. He got sent off in his debut. Is he about to score his debut goal, perhaps hit it from the edge of the box? Over the top of the wall and down we pray. Yes, he is! 91st minute, centre-back Stephen Kingsley has a clean sheet. He has a red card and now a goal to his name at championship level for us. Good. Unfortunately, we've conceded 2 in this one, so we're still probably going to lose. The keeper got his hand to it. Good free kick. If the wall jumps, they probably block it. Keeper can only push it against the post. Is there to be a late dramatic twist in this game? Carlin Grant beats me. The answer to that question might be yes, but that twist might be West Bromwich Albion just extending their lead to 3 again. Balagizi steps in nicely and has done well there. Made an impact off the bench here, James Balagizi. Probably enough so to warrant starting ahead of Luke Berry for the next game, I think. We might make that change. Balagizi in for Berry for the next fixture. At present, Sema made a difference there over Brophy as well, so Sema may also make his mark in the starting lineup. I'll reject that for Liam Lee, hoping that he'll go to Luton. Jordan Cousins wants a new contract, but quite frankly, we're quite happy to let him leave at the end of the season. We will make those changes in the team management screen for the next fixture. Brophy out for Sema. And Balagizi will come in for Luke Berry as well. I don't think we're going to make a change centrally. Thomas is still going to continue on, but if we don't get much against Nottingham Forest, I might... I don't know. At present, I think I'm going to give Thomas till the end of the calendar year before making a change, but we are in the relegation zone at this stage. Whoa. Recently relegated from the Premiership, Nottingham Forest won 4 straight games this season, all 3 in the league and 1 in the cup as well, 2nd in the division. Enes Unal up top, Alex Mighton, Josh Bowler and Morgan Gibbs-White sit in front of Nico Dominguez and Ibrahim Sangare. Harry Toffolo, Omar Babidele, Kalulu, Diakite and Vlachodimos Odysseas is quite the starting 11 for them. This is the sort of challenge that we're probably going to get absolutely crushed by. Sema starts. I might also start Sørensen for the first time, although Rafferty hasn't been bad. Kellen Watts has grown, you'll notice. Someone very keenly eyed in the live chat pointed out that Berry's actually declined to 68 now, although we didn't drop him for that reason. We dropped him because Balagizi made an impact in the last game in a more realistic fashion. Let's see if we can get a goal at the City Ground. Probably not going to happen. So far, only a defender has scored for me. Kingsley into the midfield. Balagizi out wide. Oh, and they're playing with a lot of space created at the back here. Nottingham Forest. It might be a case of them being quite expansive against us because they feel like they're a side that they can quite comfortably beat, and that might open up a little bit more space in behind than we haven't had against some of the other teams we've played so far this season. That said, if they do that and then they counter on us like this, we are probably in a lot of trouble. Sangari with a sharp turn. And Gibbs-White. Here's Enes Unal. Little dink. Nicely played. Diakite. Holding him up well. Still can't get the ball off him. Here's Josh Bowler. That's a sharp turn. Kingsley's in the way. Oh, fuck. Corner for Forest. Gibbs-White takes short to Bowler. Bowler rings around Marcus Brown. And rather accurately, Marcus Brown ran a ring. Easy for you to say. Around Josh Bowler. Morgan Gibbs-White here on the edge of the box. Into Enes Unal, who fires home Nottingham Forest's first of potentially many goals this afternoon. 1-0. Oh, Gibbs-White showboating already. Here's Diakite. Gibbs-White again. A second fancy flick. Great block by Kellen Watts. Superb work. Will use the advantage to come back for a free kick. Enes Unal into the middle. And away by Kirk Henderson. Well up Marcus Brown. Counter maybe. Yengi. Thomas. Got Balagizi who could push forward. Marcus Brown as well. And Yengi could be in here if we can find the right ball. Quickly looking for Balagizi. Oh, through there maybe. Balagizi. Support here from Ken Sema. Blocked well by Diakite. It's just not enough room for offensive players at the moment against these solid sides. It is quite the difficult fixture list at the beginning of the season, though, isn't it? West Brom and Derby, despite the fact that Derby didn't have that good a squad. And then Nottingham Forest. There will be certainly easier games to play this year than the ones we've been handed in the opening month, that's for sure. Kingsley looking for George Thomas, who just is proving more and more at the moment that he isn't going to be good enough at championship level. It's a lovely ball through to Enes Unal. They could be in for a second here, but Kelland Watts stands firm once more. What a signing he's proven to be thus far. Only the one at half-time. Toffolo with a great ball down the line. Enes Unal with an excellent first-time pass as well to Wimmer, who's come off the bench here. Sørensen beaten by the ball roll. Wimmer straight at the keeper. Toffolo to Wimmer and Enes Unal. Oh, it's superb from the striker. That is Premier League quality that we do not have access to yet. Enes Unal goes one way, Enes Unal goes the other, and bends it into the very top corner. There's no stopping goals like that. Dodds looking for Lasse Sørensen again. He's got Luke Berry pushing forward here. Berry's off the bench. Bamidele just, oh, for lack of a better term, and if you pardon the pun, buries him. Smashed him to the ground there. Just nothing to be done offensively there on that occasion. Wimmer with a little back heel is just going to evade Sørensen. And Morgan Gibbs-White, well, would have been asking for a penalty probably. Keeper's going to come. Keeper can't get there. It's an Enes Unal hat-trick. And Forest will win comfortably. Bowler. Ref. Ref! Stevens makes a good save. Pretty sure that's a foul, referee. 3-0 and likely to be potentially more here. Gibbs-White tackled though. Dodds does well. Sørensen will look to break. Not had much to do, Lasse Sørensen, other than get skinned a couple of times, but he's doing some skinning of his own here. And if I can find the right ball, which I can't do, we could have played Luke Berry in. Unfortunately, not to be, but maybe there might be one chance of a goal back. Balagizi looking for Kusini Yengi. Oh, tried the touch and then turn in the same motion, and it very nearly worked. But on the day, Nottingham Forest, quite simply, too good for us. We gave a good account of ourselves there. Certainly the kick and rush tactic is better than the park the bus tactic that we employed in the first game. But unfortunately, the outcome is just the same. We only have 1 point so far in our first season at championship level in this save. Fellow promoted side Charlton only have 2, and fellow promoted side Huddersfield only have 3. And they've drawn 3 and lost 1. So there's a lot of sides there after 4 games that haven't won a game. It's still a long way to go, but we've scored 1 and conceded 7. And that's not great. But we have had some particularly difficult games to play in the opening few games of the season. Top side Nottingham Forest, second side West Brom, 8th place Derby County, who look like they're having a much better season this time around. So there will be more points available for us in latter games for sure, but not today. Hopefully tomorrow against Huddersfield and Stoke. We'll have the transfer window deadline day tomorrow as well, and give you guys an update on all the Patreon players. But for now, that's all for me for today. There's certainly more ins to come, we feel. Potentially more outs as well, depends on what happens in the transfer window. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for more.